welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Isaiah 54:10 reads, "For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall a covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that hath mercy on thee." There is music in the very sound of these words. The stately march of the grand English translation lends itself with wonderful beauty to the melody of Isaiah's words. But the thought that lies below them, sweeping it does through the whole creation and parting all things into the transient and eternal, the mortal and immortal, is still greater. These are removed, this abides. And the thing in which God abides is all gentle tenderness, that amazing love, mightier than all the powers of deity besides, permanent with the permanence of his changeless heart. The mountains shall depart, the emblems of eternity shall crumble and change and pass, and the hills be removed. But this immortal, impalpable, and beautiful reality, my loving kindness and the covenant of my peace, shall outlast them all. And this great promise is stamped with the seal of heaven, being spoken by the Lord himself. The mountains depart, the hills removed. My loving kindness shall not depart, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed. Think of the Rocky Mountains. There they tower over the plains, looking down upon the flat valley beneath, as they did when the prophet spoke. The eternal buttresses of the hills stand to the eyes of the fleeting generations as emblems of permanence. And yet, winter storms and summer heats and the slow processes of erosion are ever working on them and changing their forms, and at last they shall pass. Geology tells us that where it rears the cliff, there rolled the sea, that through the cycles of the shifting history of the world, there have been elevations and depressions, so that the ancient hills in many places are the newest of all things, and the world's form has changed many and many a time since first it rotated as a planet. None should be able to agree with this verse more than the students of physical science. But the text does not stop there. It brings into view the transiency of the transient in order to show more brightly the perpetuity of the abiding. If we had nothing abiding beyond this perishable material universe, it would indeed be misery to exist. Life would be only insignificant, and wretched, a ghastly errantly, a meaningless, aimless ripple on the surface of a silent, shoreless sea. The great but of this text lifts the oppression from humanity with which the one-sided truth of the passing of all the visible loads it. And so turn for a moment to the other side of this great text. There stands out above all that is mortal the great Spirit of God, who moves all the material universe, himself unmoved, and lives undiminished by creation, and undiminished if creation were swept out of existence. Let all that which may pass, pass. Let that which can perish, perish. Let the mountains crumble and the hills melt away. Beyond the smoke and flame and rising high above destruction and chaos stands the calm throne of God with a loving heart upon it, with a counsel of peace and purpose of mercy for you and for me. The creatures of a day indeed, but who are to live when the days shall cease to be. My kindness, the tender-heartedness of an infinite love, the abounding favor of the Father of my spirit, his gentle goodness bending down to me, his tenderness round about me, eternal love that never can die. The thing that lasts in the universe is his kindness, which continues from everlasting to everlasting. That realization defeats all sorrow and care and anxiety and every other form of trouble. The infinite, undying, imperishable love of God is mine, older than the mountains, deeper than their roots, wider than the heavens, and stronger than all sin is a love that grasps me and keeps me and will not let me go, and lavishes its tenderness upon me and beseeches me and pleads with me and woos me and rebukes me, corrects me when I need it, and sent his Son to die for me. My kindness shall not depart from thee. Have you talked to God today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.